Kailin Curran is good at losing, but feels due for a win at UFC Shanghai. Kailin Curran is one of very few fighters on the UFC roster with a sub.500 record. She's not happy about it, but also won't allow herself to be consumed by the negative results she's experienced in recent years. Curran's 4-5 MMA, 1-5 UFC record speaks for itself. She's had some entertaining fights, but when it comes to winning, she hasn't been producing. Curran is sitting on 3 straight losses as she enters Saturday's strawweight bout with Yan Xiaonan, 7-1 MMA, 0-0 UFC, at UFC Fight Night 122, which takes place at the Mercedes-Benz Arena in Shanghai and streams on UFC Fight Pass. Personally, Curran doesn't think her record is an accurate reflection of her ability. She's had some close fights along the way that, had they gone in her favor, would make things look different. That wasn't the case, though, and now Curran is entering UFC Fight Night 122 in search of a definitive outcome. "I say this a lot, I got good at losing," Curran told MyJunkie. "My record doesn't really show the kind of fighter I am. My record doesn't show what I'm actually capable of. I was bummed for sure. I definitely thought I won my last fight versus Alexandra Albu at UFC 214. Sometimes judges see it with a different perspective, and there's nothing really I can do about that except for making sure going into this next fight I solidifying I'm going to win. Either I win by submission or ref stoppage. I really have to make it clear that I won. It was heartbreaking, but at the same time I was very happy with how I performed. I feel like I've come a long way from fighting Paige Van Zandt. It's been a crazy journey, but I love it. I feel like I'm getting better every fight." Curran admits the road to this point has been a rocky one. She's had to deal with mental hurdles that would potentially break the spirit of other fighters, but not the Hawaiian. Curran was likely signed to the UFC far earlier than she should have been and has been forced to develop at the highest level of the sport. At 26 and going into her 10th fight, Curran feels she's coming into her own at this point. She hopes that translates with her performance against Xiaonan. "It hasn't been easy to stay positive," Curran said. "My last 2 camps I've been very positive, though. There's been a change in my attitude because there's been times I wanted to give up, and I'm just like, I keep losing. But I just put winning in a different category now. That used to be my main priority. It's funny because I'm basically winning. I have these little wins throughout the fights. I'm getting wins for myself personally, it's just not on paper. I feel like a winner every time." Curran said there's a lot of good signs for her going into UFC Fight Night 122. She's getting a quick turnaround from her most recent bout at UFC 214 in July, got married a few weeks back, and is on the same card as teammates and former UFC middleweight champion Michael Bisping. Although Curran is open about how she learned to lose, that doesn't mean she's okay with it. The moment of glorious victory is the primary reason why many athletes compete in MMA, and after taking her lumps in recent years, Curran is ready to turn the tide back in her favor. "Every fight is a must-win for me," Curran said. "I haven't been as worried because I feel like I'm due. It's my time, I'm sorry. I'm winning this fight. There's no way I'm going to lose. That's how I feel going into this fight, to be honest. I don't really have a thought in my mind I'm going to lose. If it happens, like I was saying earlier, I know how to lose, so it's okay. I just don't see me losing this fight. I worked too hard. My last fight was so close. I can just taste victory. It's right there." For more on UFC Fight Night 122, check out the UFC Rumors section of the site.